Peace to all NAACP members and friends. We're gathering here today to make a special announcement.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rubye Black-Johnson, and I am the Vice President of the Crittenden County NAACP.
Hello, my name is Alicia Whitley. I am the Treasurer of the Crittenden County NAACP.
Good evening, this is Shabaka Afrika. I am the President of the Crittenden County NAACP.
And today, we are here to announce that we are formally resigning for our position as officers of the Crittenden County NAACP.
The exact date of our resignation will be forthcoming. After we've spoken with our state president, Mr. Frank Shaw, we'll be clearer about the exact date, but we are resigning.
And what you will see following us is the reasons why we are doing just what we decided to do today.
In my mind, the NAACP was pretty much a group that spoke out against the injustices that were against our people, and to kind of pretty much just tell what was happening and to come together in unity.
I am essentially an advocate for an African-centered worldview. Most of these organizations are not that far along, but what we did know, the NAACP has been around since 1909. Actually started with the Niagara movement in 1904. And its objective was to be an advocacy organization on behalf of black folk, particularly at that time lynching, and then various other areas of civil rights. And so we believed that it had more equity than any other organization, and that we thought that by taking over this organization, we could begin to try to stabilize the narrative, the conversation about economic, political, and social power. My findings are that the NAACP and many other organizations are far worse than we thought. That there's a credibility problem at the top and even in the middle and then sometimes at the bottom, that many of the people that are attracted are people that are attracted to the NAACP to have its name on its resume. Others see it as a stepping stone for political office. Others see it as an opportunity to create wealth for themselves. You know, we've learned that particularly since the George Floyd incident and the Black Lives Matter movement, not the organization, that the NAACP has garnered over $100 million in corporate donations. And it kind of begs the question that Mr. Hubert Bass, who is no longer with us, said from the beginning. He said, I think this organization is a storefront organization that exists just to collect money. And I have to say that after 11 years, my views are pretty much the same.
We were able to organize some events with the community and some of the organizations in our community. And our members, you know, if you gave them directions on what we needed, they really stepped up, so we do appreciate that.
Despite being in court and preparing for court all this time, we have had time to partner with other organizations in the city of West Memphis, churches, and we've really been happy with those events. We've done things like the Back to School giveaways with the city, with Delta Sigma Theta, with Amapar Church, with Agape Church. So we've had some really good partnerships there. We've had people in our meetings and on our Zoom for information. We are all about getting information out to the people that will help them in their daily lives and in their political lives and everything. So we've had from our mayor of the city, our chief of police, the governor of the state of Arkansas, Dr. Susan Williams, Mr. Brian Weldon, who is the CEO of Baptist Memorial Hospital. And we've had Senator Ingram, just a cadre of people with information about COVID, with information about voting, with information about the censors and why it's important. Our former fire chief, Mr. Dennis Brewer, who's no longer with us, to talk about the new fire stations, and the chief of police who talked about the community involvement and the initiations that he's going to put in place. So we just been trying to inform them, and we think that these are things that has helped our community, and we continue to do things like that now.
Because of our continuous agitation from the time we started, we had about 8 blacks on the West Memphis police force. Today, over half the police force are black. And we agitated, and every Facebook, every email we sent, we pounced on the lack of it and talking about white supremacy and racism. And I believe we had an effect. And we have a black mayor, and I think back to people like Mr. Reginald Robinson, you called him TK Robinson, who literally was the mastermind, the political mastermind behind these redistricting lawsuits where we were able to draw these super black districts. And so I felt like when I came to the NAACP through that, and I was president of political action in the 80s, that I brought all those experiences, even though many of those people have gone on to their resting places, that I brought their experiences and my experiences to the NAACP.
My actual experiences with the state and the national have been kind of hard. We have been trying to communicate with the national office. We've written so many letters, emails. We've called so many times to do simple stuff like getting the membership dates correct and people's names correct.
I grew up thinking one way about our national NAACP, and I'm so sorry and I regret to know that the people that's in the leadership do not have the character that I thought that they had. They do not abide by their own bylaws and constitution. They went out their way with the Crittenden County NAACP to get back at us because we just didn't follow suit of what they wanted us to do.
The NAACP has been around since 1909. Actually started with the Niagara movement in 1904. And its objective was to be an advocacy organization on behalf of black folk, particularly at that time lynching, and then various other areas of civil rights. And so we believed that it had more equity than any other organization, and that we thought that by taking over this organization, we could begin to try to stabilize the narrative, the conversation about economic, political, and social power. My findings are that the NAACP and many other organizations are far worse than we thought. That there's a credibility problem at the top, and even in the middle, and then sometimes at the bottom, that many of the people that are attracted are people that are attracted to the NAACP to have its name on its resume. Others see it as a stepping stone for political office. Others see it as an opportunity to create wealth for themselves. You know, we've learned that particularly since the George Floyd incident and the Black Lives Matter movement, not the organization, that the NAACP has garnered over $100 million in corporate donations. And it kind of begs the question that Mr. Hubert Bass, who is no longer with us, said from the beginning. He said, I think this organization is a storefront organization that exists just to collect money. And I have to say that after 11 years, my views are pretty much the same.
After all the court cases that we've been through, we've won all of them because they have been found in contempt of everything that we presented, everything that we've done. They have not come through with what the court orders have said for them to do. And so when we came back and demanded some of those things, then that's when we had the fight. But we are resigning right now because our state president has informed us that he's not going to run again, and Mr. Frank Shaw, and they have been after him also because he has done the things that he was supposed to do. He's been very instrumental in helping us with certain programs and being at our meetings and our Zoom meetings. He's been where the state president should be. And so they are directly after him as well now. And since he's not running, we feel that this is a good time for us to step down while we are not in court with them. We are also stopping at this time because this is the time of the year that we do most of our membership drive. And we've had so much trouble with our membership cards, not getting them back on time or having the wrong expiration date on them. And you as members know that because some of you have complained to us about not receiving the cards and about not getting, having the right expiration date on it. We've really, we have worked through some things that has been very difficult. Whenever you do not have the cooperation from your national organization, all these years, nobody in the president, not one of the three presidents, not any of the national officers ever had a conversation with us on what they could do. And so we've just think that it is time that we just stop now and do things that we can do in our community that will better the community without going through all of the hassles that we've been through. And one person in particular who's been in the forefront of the NAACP the whole 11 years, Ms. Carmen Watkins, she has been very, very instrumental in keeping up all of these troubles that we've had. She's been very instrumental in helping other groups that said that they were the NAACP. She's done everything that you can think of to discredit us and our leadership, especially our president. So this is why we think now is the time.
We have had many, many conversations on Facebook over the years explaining in detail. And I think many of you have seen people like Mr. Kyle Watkins making provocative statements. And we've explained those things. And because he was enabled, along with other people, by national officers like Ms. Carmen Watkins. She literally aided and abetted them in their efforts to sabotage and to confuse our efforts in our community. And of course, I think they fetishized me in particular, and I guess I should feel flattered that they would spend that type of money and time on me personally. I'm not, but if the NAACP cannot practice justice toward its own membership, how can it expect to extract justice from the system that was based on our marginalization to begin with? What the NAACP has done with the Crittenden County NAACP for the last several years is simply horrible. As I think Treasurer Whitley has already explained, they won't answer our letters, they won't answer our emails, our text messages. They won't respond to us at all. And only because our new state president that's only been in a little over 2 years, maybe not even that long, he responded to us positively. Mr. Frank Shaw, who by the way is from Forest City, who has spent a great deal of time with us. We've talked about combined efforts. He has been a part of press conferences, news conferences, Zoom meetings. He's been here for personal meetings. In fact, he and I met together and provided us with these masks that I want to make sure before I forget. If anybody would like, any organization or church, we can donate up to 200 really great masks. If you'll come by, call us, make an appointment to come by, and we'll take a picture together. We have these masks for you. I want to sincerely thank all the people that have stuck with us, with me, Miss Rubye, and Alicia. Many of the members, most of our members are either our friends, our family, their former classmates, their brothers and sisters that I've known for the last 40 years that came out to offer their support, even through all of the toxic mess that we've had to go through. There's always a silver lining in it. And so we are now prepared to move into the next stage of our activism. And I will say that for me, there are a number of things that I want to do, but the most serious thing that I think the black race needs to be doing right now, finding a way to make sure that the next 2 generations of black children learn our history.
I do appreciate all of our members and all of those people in the community who have joined with us in our efforts. Although there was, some controversial things going on, they stuck with us and they helped us do whatever it was that we were trying to do in the community. Although we are resigning, we still will do some things in the community together. And I do look forward to that. And I just, am just very appreciative of everything, that being around the people who have stuck by us.
To our members, and especially our members who've been very loyal, they've paid their dues, they attended our meetings in person and on Zoom. I want to give you a heartfelt thank you, because without you, we would not have been able to accomplish as much as we have accomplished. And I hope that watching us and hearing what we have to say will answer all your questions. If not, feel free to call us. Most of you have my phone number, have my email address, and you also have the email address and the phone number to the office. So give us a call if we can answer any question that we did not answer. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you to everybody.